I want to go back into the childhood again, but I want to get more into the elementary and junior high school level.
Mm.
I like to get into those stories. I like to hear about, nobody talks about elementary and junior high. They go
I
to
know,
college.
I
I
know.
want to know about
Yeah,
elementary
that
and junior
that
high.
that has highs
Yeah.
and lows.
So tell me about them.
But I mean, elementary school, like I said, I was always one to want to make friends. And I remember I can go my long-term memory real good. Sometimes better than my short term.
Okay, okay.
But but I remember it was this girl named Rosemary in kindergarten, and she had the little cat glasses or whatever. Because I never was one to like anybody to be picked on or bullied and all that.
Yeah.
Even though I went through that a little. Um, but she, was like kind of meek, what they would call like homely, like. But I wanted to befriend her because I didn't see anybody else trying to be friends with her, and I just remember to this day, and I always wondered. It came to my mind, I wonder whatever happened to Rosemary. But I remember she was in my class, and so that was me, always trying to give or help, trying to make people feel good. There was times in elementary school I was teased or whatever. You don't feel until I came into myself as I got a little older, then your body, your shape, you get a little whatever. But children could be mean. They were like, oh, pancake
Yes.
face and
Yes.
all these kind of little names
Oh.
and whatever, make you like feel some kind of way about yourself, and you try to like brush it off because I knew I had my smarts. I knew I was an honor roll and principal list student. So
Okay.
I let
Okay.
those academics and my accomplishment kind of brush off that other little stuff. Always stay like in top grade classes. So education was something that was huge for me. And I always tried to be, I was always one to self-motivate myself. Because if I didn't get it from others, like there were some teachers that wasn't so much like that. Like to this day, my fourth grade teacher, it's the difference between my third and fourth grade teacher. And why sometimes it hurts me when I
Talk
think
about that.
about it
Yes.
today, because she was black.
Yes.
I know. And she was my first black teacher. So the third grade teacher, like, she had bought this collection of books that was like, on a different level. And she had me and Eric in the class. Like, we was in charge of this book section. Our reading and multiplication level or whatever was really
Eric?
high.
Who's Eric, your brother?
And so,
Who's Eric? Your brother?
Oh, Eric was a boy in my class.
Oh, okay.
So we were both like really smart.
Okay.
So yeah, so we were like in charge of the book section, and she just was so uplifting and like empowered me so way. To this day, Miss Leonard, I always went, where is Miss Leonard? I would love to find her. I can't even find her because back then we ain't know for children the first names. I can't even get to searching for her.
Oh yeah,
all I knew was Miss Leonard.
Yeah, that's true.
So then fourth grade wraps around. Miss Gorman. Now here she go. I remember we had to do write a story. She wanted us to write a little story. We was writing a story. Now I did a story about animals in the forest. Remember, we used to have in elementary school that big paper that we used to write cursive letters on, and it was like a line, and it was a dotted line and all that. So she had gave us that, and we was writing a story on the animals. So I was like, my imagination was always big. I love to write. I used to write poetry in the 6th grade. I would write stories. So I would love to write. And I said, I guess it was too good for her. I went to turn it in. She told me, where's the book you got this from?
Oh.
It always reminded me of that story with Malcolm X when the teacher told him, he couldn't be nothing else than what.
Oh.
That crushed me so bad. I'm like, what book? Didn't you see me at the table?
Right, you see,
right? You saw I didn't write it out of no book. What a book at that I wrote it from. I got grown. I was grown and ran into Miss Gorman at a grocery store parking lot. The look I gave this woman, bro, she was like, hey,
what you do?
Because my face, everybody said, don't change from when I was little.
What you do, Kathy? What you do?
I was like, hi. What I don't know. I know the shade was coming. I know the shade was like, I don't know the expression on my face, but the fire from 4th grade came right back up.
Wow.
How dare you? Something I was so proud of. You thought I cheated and wrote it out of something. She was the only one that ever did this. I never forgot her. But yeah, so school I really love, because I love school growing up in elementary, typical things, little boyfriends and crushes and just life and just fun. We moved from one
crushes on boyfriends, but you was hopping in the staircase too, Kathy?
Huh?
Were
Oh,
you hopping in the
no, I
staircase?
did sneak a kiss behind a book in a class with this boy, and they started.
You wasn't hopping you wasn't dry hopping in the staircase like
At elementary school, I remember we was behind a book in class, and he tried to sneak a kiss on my cheek, and he bought me this ring. I said he probably got it out of his mother jewelry box. She gonna kill him.
bless his heart.
Little ring, it fit me. I had it on my finger. I'm like, oh, he liked me. Oh my God, all that cute stuff. It was oh my God, the stories. It was funny. Some of the stories being in school is crazy.
So so that was so when you said that you never forgot that, so that's something about how she thought you was plagiarizing.
Fourth grade, thought I was plagiarizing in fourth grade.
Thought you was plagiarizing. So like, okay, so I know you said that you were affected by that. So that carried on into, as you got older, like into junior high, or like, so so okay, so now
it didn't have a negative effect. I let it go, but it's still my drive. I still like to write. I still excelled in school. So she didn't stop me in that way. It was just really an insult.
It wasn't right, yes,
but it didn't play. Yeah, it wasn't a detriment to change anything. No.
Yeah, that was hurtful.
Yeah, that was hurtful.
Do you think she meant to, like, let me ask you this. Did you think there was any maliciousness involved? Do you think she was meant to be malicious, or she just didn't really, because she didn't expect, a fourth grader to be so advanced, maybe? I'm just
right. And I think she didn't think, because I came from all she had to do was talk to my third grade teacher. If she would, she would have, the other teacher, I told you, she really encouraged that even more. She knew I was smart in that class. Maybe she never saw that from another student to write on that level. So you didn't think it exists, but you don't say that to a student.
Yeah.
You don't say that to a child.
I understand.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes, some of us, especially as adults, sometimes we don't have as much tact as we should.
Right.
So yeah, but I'm just trying to play the devil's advocate, and maybe she didn't mean anything.
Yeah. I don't know. She might not have to say it, but Miss Gorman always had like this kind of mean, rough attitude. So she just came off like that.
Okay, got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you know better than I. So I was just trying to.
No, yeah. So I don't know. That was a part of her personality, but I would have thought she would have thought better of me, but hey, maybe not.
Aww.
By fifth grade, I was out of that school. Then I went on to a different school because we moved. So I went to another district. So I went to another school.
Okay. So going into junior high, so I know you said that you had your smarts, but did you go join any clubs? Were you in any extracurricular activities?
Play volleyball.
Volleyball, okay, cool.
Yeah, played volleyball for 2 years. Then after a while, I was like, okay, I want to do that. But then just tried to do a lot of school plays and performances. I remember we did a rendition of our American Music Awards. I don't know, they don't do American Music Awards no more. It was American Music Awards and the Grammys, and then they stopped doing them. So we did our own rendition of that, and I did Anita Baker. I did Sweet Love. I had the dress and whatever, because by then I was in high school. I worked and at Macy's, and that black dress she wore in that video, we had the same exact dress we sold in Macy's. I started junior sportswear. So I said, I got the dress. I'm going to return it when I'm finished. I got the dress. And I did that with Sweet Love. That was a fun performance. And back in the days with Menudo and Janet Jackson, we had we did it just like the award show. You had those who was playing certain singers in the audience. They come up to get their award, because during the school year, we had voted on who out of this you want to win in all these categories. So then during the performance, we got to do it. So I was just one of I didn't get an award, but I was one of the performances that they had for the night. And it was Janet Jackson performed. Who else? It was the other performance. And that was Anita Baker. I had the haircut and everything.
Oh, you had the haircut too? Oh, yeah, you wasn't playing. Oh, you was.
I wasn't playing.
Oh, wow. That is so cool.
That was fun. That was fun.
I like that.
Yeah.
So what high school did you go to?
Passaic County Technical and Vocational High School in Wayne, New Jersey. It was a Votech high school where you can do it was it's still a really great school. It was either Eastside High, and if any of you know Lean on Me with Joe Clark.
Yes.
That's when I did a background of Lean on Me when I after I graduated from high school. They did Lean on Me.
Okay, we'll talk about that. You gotta
we'll talk about that. But that was so it was either that. Kennedy was in another area. So if I didn't go to Tech, which was in another city, we got bused there, I would have went to Eastside. But Eastside was kind of rough then, just like you saw in the movie. So I didn't want to do that. My grades were great enough. I got in. I was a business major. I wanted to take, learn to type and all that business stuff. So I took business occupations and went to Turk. That was my trade.
Oh, it was your trade. Okay, because I was going to ask
Mm-hmm.
you that. Did you also get into the co-op program? You remember the co-op program where
Oh
you
no, I'm at
go to school? Yeah.
Job Corps.
No, like when you go to school one week and I think the next week you go as a
Oh
job. You do
no, they
something.
once we got to at senior year,
Senior year,
we
right?
would do what's
Right.
called co-op. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we took,
Mhm.
that was it.
Yeah.
Part
Mhm.
of the would be our classes in the afternoon after lunch, we go work.
Yes.
So
Yep.
I had
Mhm.
worked in GAB business services. They did like insurance. So that was
Okay.
my
That was your
co-op job. Yep.
position.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yep.
And so did you were you still playing volleyball? Did you
Oh no, I did that
okay,
earlier
did it
in
earlier?
high school. Yeah, like freshman, part of sophomore year. That and then I stopped.
So did you doing anything else in high school? And
Um,
what are some of your memorable
no,
moments in high
no
school?
other clubs and stuff like that. No, I had just did that for sport. And just
Okay.
tried, to, stay in any programs or plays and stuff like that.
So what was your
I wanted to do play clarinet, but my mother ain't get me no instrument.
right?
I wanted to do that for whatever reason. I ain't get no instrument for her, so I ain't get to play flute or clarinet. But
So one of your what's some of your other standout memories in high school?
oh, when I got with my oldest son father,
Oh, that
that's when
stands
really
out. That
started looking
stands
at
out.
boys, right?
Okay.
That was junior year. So, but yeah, my first love. That's when
Uh-huh.
everything else,
Uh-huh.
shut down.
Yes.
That's probably the
Yes.
reason why I didn't go away to college, worrying about some
Mm.
guy.
Yeah.
And I'm
Mhm.
like thinking hindsight
My man.
2020,
My
because
man. My man. Mhm.
my mom, I said, I'll just work, stay back here, go to school. I can't leave him. Yeah, whatever. Because me and my girlfriend since elementary school, Kim, she was saying, we said, we going to UCLA. We going to
Oh,
UCLA. And
did
because
she go?
my whole focus was to one day go to California
Yeah.
and
Did
be
she
this big
go?
movie star. Huh?
Yeah. Did she go?
No, she ain't win either.
Did
We
you
both.
had a man too?
She might have had a man too because he stayed back here in Jersey too. We was dreaming. Neither one of us went.
Oh wow. So
I'm like, oh God. I
where'd you
look
end up
back like,
going?
girl.
Where'd you end up going? Where'd you go?
I wound up going to Passaic County Community College local. Got
Okay.
my 2 years associate in criminal justice there. Then
Okay.
moved on to Rutgers University
Rutgers.
in
Okay.
Newark. So yeah, Rutgers grad, criminal justice.
Criminal justice. Oh, and
Yeah.
so what did you want to do with that? Criminal justice.
Because initially when I thought about it, I wanted to be a probation officer. I said, I'm gonna go on and be a
You wanted
probation
to be a
officer.
probation officer.
I
You
wanted to be a
want
probation
on
officer.
your
My mother
own
worked at
accord?
probation. I like that. So I can start off as an investigator for a certain
Okay.
number of credits, then move up to a probation officer, then wind up. I was working with the city for 11 years. I was doing that, clerk typist. No. After high school, once I a little bit with that job I had on co-op, but then
Okay.
left there and then went to the courthouse and
Gotcha.
worked in special civil part as a docket clerk, helping people file papers and landlord and tenant.
Got
So
it.
that's when I had did the Lean on Me background
Oh
because it
yeah,
was
talk
right
about it.
outside the courthouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, they filmed right outside the courthouse, which was supposed to be City Hall. That scene with Robert Guillaume and Morgan Freeman, and that's how I got to meet them and had a
Oh,
talk with
wow.
Morgan Freeman on set. So that was one of
Oh,
my.
that's amazing.
That's what the first taste of actually sit down
So
talking to an
what
actor.
were you said like when you said that you said you're extra, right?
I was an extra. Mm-hmm.
Where can we spot you? Can we spot you?
Oh, it was in a crowd. He came out. This was supposed to be the scene when he got out of jail. And the students was
Oh,
outside going, free
yes,
Mr. Clark.
yes,
And so we
yes.
was out there chanting like 2 days. We did
Wow.
that from the time we got out of work, like 5 on set. We filled out our little papers. They paid us $100. I never forget.
Oh,
And went, and that was a lot, but shoot, back then, that
yeah,
was late
it
80s.
was.
And yeah, because it was 50, I think, a day for the 2 days. And then they
Wow.
yeah, so we did it for 2 days, and it was literally till the sunset. Because as we was chanting in that crowd, the sun was just almost about to rise. It was
Okay.
like to 5 a.m. So I literally went home, changed, and then started to get ready for work the next day, and then come back out and do it again. Yeah, they had us like 12 hours. It was late into the night that we
Wow.
did that. I'll never forget.
Yeah. They used to call me Crazy Joe. Now
You
they call me
used to call me, now they call me Batman. Joe Clark was no joke.
Yeah.
He played that. Yeah,
Crazy
Morgan
though in real
Freeman
life?
played that.
Was it like that in real life? Was he really like? Because I know that
He didn't play. Yeah, change the doors from the
okay.
5 people. He
So
was
that was
whipping
true?
that school into shape, and he did. He
Really?
did. Then he moved on, and it was funny because then when I was in the mosque we would go out and talk to those who at the juvenile detention center. And I got a picture with him with a certificate.
Wow.
Once we did the program, we would go in there and talk to the young girls. Some of the brothers would go and talk to the men, and we would talk to the young girls, and you know, just about, you know, how they got there, their life, how they can do better. And
Right.
Joe Clark happened to be running the administrator of that Essex
Okay.
County Juvenile Detention Center at the time. He had left East Side, went there, and then so I wound up still meeting, working with the real Joe Clark. You know, I don't go to
That
East
is
Side, but I met him
amazing.
through the detention center.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
thank you for sharing that, Kathy.
yes.
Wow, you
That was
that's funny. Yeah.
that was a highlight.
Yeah, so that was the start of something bigger, and we're gonna get into, but you
Mhm,
still work for the government, you know, so
mhm.
you still had a government job because you had bills, you know, you had
Yeah.
the
After that,
benefits, so you need that, you know.
yeah, the
Mhm.
courthouse. Then it was 1 year at this chemical factory, and after that, what came after that? Um, I went. So, then I went to the city of Patterson, and I was there
Okay,
for 11 years. City of
okay.
Patterson. I worked there during the whole 9/11.
Mm,
Yeah. So that
that had
because
to
I
come back.
started there in
That's
'90
yeah, that's been
when I
hard.
had my oldest son in 1990. He was 4 months old, and I
Oh,
started with the city until 20 to 2011, because then my second child was 2.
okay.
And so yeah, at the end of
Okay.
then when 9/11, what 20, yeah, what's that, 2011? Yeah.
So you have 2
90, no,
yeah,
2001. That was yeah. So 9/11 happened when? I knew we was coming into the
2000
job,
2001.
and yeah, 2001. And then
Mhm,
we was like, what's going on? And they was all like in the mayor's office on the
mhm,
TV. They was like, they plane hit the Twin Towers. Then it was like a half hour. We said, what? And so everybody was standing at the TV in the mayor's office, because I worked in the law
mm.
department. And then next thing you know, a little while after, and then I'm freaking out like, oh my God, my children, the babysitter, like, what's going on? Because then it hit the what was the Pentagon or whatever they had hit next. And so we was like,
Yes,
what's going
yes,
on? So
yeah,
we was shook, because it
yeah.
happened with a government.
Ooh,
So we in a government agency in City Hall. So we didn't
yes,
know what was going. We didn't know what was gonna happen. What was happening. So that was a crazy day.
yes, it was oh God, beyond rough. That's
Hmm.
understatement. I mean, just whew, I mean, just
Yeah.
imagining, family, loved ones
Right.
and family members. I mean, just it was just devastation all
The
around.
Twin
So
Towers come. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
They
yeah,
suffer until to this day dealing with
yes,
that, and the losses and the
absolutely,
health issues. It was a lot came out of
absolutely.
that.
Yes, it really was. But I'm
Hmm.
glad that you were able to, be a survivor through that and, be able to kind of work through that because I know it's a lot to process. It was a whole lot to
Hmm.
process because you're in the thick of it. So it's a lot to process.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I tip my hat off to you on that one. Yeah. So okay. So you maintain employment. You maintain steady employment. That's one thing about the city of the city and the state. These government jobs are very very steady. They're very secure.
Oh
That's one thing
yeah, I
about it.
was
Very
one to
secure.
always focus on. That
Yeah.
was my mom, like stability with
Yeah.
working. And we had this
Mhm.
conversation at work recently, like how Gen X, like how we like a different breed. We
Mhm.
know totally. I
Yeah.
mean, there's always with the millennials and Gen Zs, it's good things in both, but there's a big difference because they not so much on the stability and the pension and social security, like how we did then. We wanted a job. That's what our parents pounded us on. We wasn't
Yes.
as adventurous to take as much chances as that level of stability that we still
Yes.
get
You have to
now,
play
and
it safe.
maintaining where
Yes.
we are not
Yes.
found out. They do whatever. What, forget that. I'm
Yes.
here for the moment type.
Yes.
We be like, listen, I gotta think about the future. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
You better get
Yes.
that job and get you some.
Yeah, because exactly.
And
Yeah,
that's
you
what
know
was
you can't
embedded in me.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can't afford to take certain risks, you
You
gotta
can't
play it
afford
safe for
those
a
risks.
while.